the 400 richest Americans right now. 400. The 400 richest. Are they part of our party over there? Huh?
No.
No? How are they from? Where are they from? The what?
They're from what? The Republicans.
No, who are they? Are they really? Oh. Thank you for saying that before I said something ridiculous.
For yourself?
No, she just told me he was over there. They're 9/11 survivors and their families. Anyways, so now what was I saying? Oh, 400 richest Americans. The 400 richest Americans own more wealth than 150 million Americans combined. And that probably won't change for a while, but you know what? They only have 400 votes. They only have 400 votes. We have millions. We should not be afraid of these people because of their money. Right? We have the ability to organize and get the vote out. So I just want to thank you for what you're doing, for your involvement, and for your promise to me that you're going to fix the mess that we've left you. And on that, I will take 3 questions. And who has the first one? Yes, ma'am. I'll repeat it so you can hear it in the back.
If President Obama called you and said, Michael, tell me, just give me your best piece of advice for what we can do to make sure we secure the election and have a second term, what would you tell him?
The question is, if President Obama called me tomorrow and said, Mike, give me your one piece of advice on what I can do to secure the election next year, what is your advice? I would say to him, Mr. President, I need you to make some arrests down on Wall Street. I want to see a perp walk of the top bankers in this country. I want to see them handcuffed and marched in front of the cameras like the police do to the other perpetrators that they arrest. I want to see, and I'll tell you, if the American people saw that, I think they would really think, wow, this guy's got guts. This guy's going to stand up for me. 50 million Americans don't have health insurance. I'd say something and do something for them immediately, not in 2014. Don't back down, Mr. President, from anything. Stand up. We've got your back. We've got your back. Don't back down. Do not back down. No more of that. Fight. 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 I sound like a cheerleader. You know, Rick Perry, like George W. Bush, was a cheerleader in college. Just a FYI on that. Next question. Yes, sir. From Brooklyn.
What authors inspired you and what filmmakers inspired you?
What authors and filmmakers inspired me? Well, a number of filmmakers. Stanley Kubrick, to begin with. Anything by Stanley Kubrick that you can see, especially some of his old stuff. Paths of Glory. If you ever get a chance to see that, incredible movie. Dr. Strangelove. So many great films by Stanley Kubrick. Documentary films. One of my favorite ones of all time is a film called Hearts and Minds. It's about Vietnam. It's probably the best film about Vietnam I've ever seen. Hearts and Minds, it's its name. You know, there's a number. You know, I mean, I like a lot of kinds. I mean, I love the Rise of the Planet of the Apes this year. So. And I love the Woody Allen movie this summer. It was the best film I saw this summer. And I'm still a fan of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So, authors, so many great authors. But, you know, I always say, you know, my favorite book of all time is a history book called Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee by an author by the name of D. Brown. If you ever get a chance to read that book. Rules for Radicals is a great book by Saul Alinsky. Go back and read about I.F. Stone. You know, there's lots of lessons from people that did things back in even the 30s and the 40s that we can learn from today. But, you know, I hope you got to read some of that while you were in school. Yes, sir, in the tie.
If Obama doesn't fight, he doesn't follow your advice, are you still going to support him next year?
If Obama doesn't stand up and fight, will I support him in next year's election? I don't like the fact that the Democrats in charge take our support for granted. They think, well, where else are we going to go? We're not going to vote for Republicans, right?
Yep.
So then they go ahead and they compromise way too much, and because they don't think we have any place else to go. What he does, this is the other thing I'd say to him, what you don't understand about next year's election is you don't have to worry about people like me and the base and all that. Of course, you know, we're going to go to the polls and vote for you if you're the candidate on the ballot. But there's not going to be the enthusiasm that there was in 2008. You, by your actions, have depressed the vote. And the people I know, each of whom brought 10 people to the polls with them, they're not going to bring 10 people this time. They'll bring themselves. They're not going to vote for a Republican. They'll bring themselves. They'll vote for him. They're not bringing 10 people. Because they can't look anybody in the eye and say, hey, things really got better, huh? Because it really didn't get better. And people don't want any BS. And we can't BS them, right? It's just not our nature. So we're not going to be able to really go out and enthusiastically get people to vote for him. And it's hard to do it on a negative. Well, we got to vote for him because we don't want Rick Perry or Michelle Bachmann. Well, yes, that will inspire a lot of people. And, you know, I was thinking the other day that I should come out for Rick Perry or Michelle Bachmann. That would totally kill them in the primary. And I would be very sincere, and I'd make a lot of very interesting points about why I support either of these two wonderful individuals. I was on The View this morning, and I said, they asked me what I thought about the Republican candidates, and I said, well, there's only one of them who believes in evolution and global warming and supports civil unions, and he's the Mormon from Utah, if that makes any sense. The others think the American people are as crazy as they are, and they've hooked up to the Tea Party. But what they're really on is the Titanic, and they're going to go down fast with it because the American people are not crazy. And I know what you're saying. I can see the looks on your faces when I'm buying where I'm from. They're crazy. They're crazy. And you're right. There are a lot of crazy people. All right. And there's a lot of people that are ignorant, and there's a lot of people that think Adam and Eve rode on dinosaurs 6,000 years ago. I do understand that, but we live in a large country, 300 million people. Do you know we could go as high as having 100 million idiots and still have a great country because the other 200 million have half a brain? So, you know, so don't be frightened by that. I know 100 million looks like a lot. That's a lot of ignorance. But it's not anywhere near the majority of this country. We're in the majority. We, the majority, are against this war. We, the majority, support gay marriage. We, the majority, believe in a woman's right to choose. We, the majority, on and on and on. We are the majority, and we need to start acting like it. Acting like it right now with courage and conviction. And if people see that in us and say, they will vote for our candidates, and we will prevent the disaster that is going to take place if we allow the Republicans to take over the White House and Congress again. Thank you very much for having me here. I really appreciate it.